Hi guys, we're going to go ahead and get set up with tic-tac-toe here today. So I'm going to take you through a couple different screencasts. The first one here today we'll do is we'll just get the layout set up for tic-tac-toe. So we'll get a full functioning grid for tic-tac-toe using some auto layout and just some things we've done before. So let's go ahead and get started here. We'll go ahead and create a new project. Single view as always. Let's go next here. Go ahead and just call this tic-tac-toe. All right, you can leave everything, as is, whatever you have. Just make sure we're on Swift and Universal. All right, go ahead and get that file saved. All right, and then let's get to work here. So we're going to go right to our main storyboard here. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and on our grid here, let's go close our outline out here. Let's go ahead. We're going to look for a UI view. All right, so type in UI view in our object library, and let's bring that out to our screen. We want to get that about as center as we can there. Okay, so go ahead and get that UI view onto our storyboard. All right, and then we're going to set the size to this to be a 320 by 320 square. So let's click on our ruler and set the width and height to 320. Okay, and then if you need to, let's just reposition that so it's staying in our center with the blue plus sign. Okay, so we got our UI view set. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to change the background color of the view here to black. So we'll go to our attributes inspector. Go to background color, all right, and then go ahead and let's just change that to black. Okay, so now it kind of stands out a little bit more, but also we're going to put some things on top of this to make our grid. Okay, so before we do anything, we're going to add some constraints to the view so it gets kind of anchored in the center. So let's go ahead and make sure our view's selected. Click on it, and you'll see you got the white, as we know, the white squares around the horn. So we're going to go ahead and do align it so it's always in the center of the screen. Okay, so let's go to our align menu options here, and we're going to horizontal in the center and also vertically here. Let's go ahead and add those two constraints. Don't worry about the big red plus sign here. We're going to fix that right now. Hopefully you remember this, but again, we got to go to our pin menu. All right, we're going to go ahead and fix the width and the height to keep that the same here. Go ahead and add those two constraints. All right, and then we are good. We're free. The warning went away, so our layout is set there, so that UI view is not moving. Okay, so that's going to stay in the middle. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some labels to the grid here. All right, so let's go ahead and get a UI label. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and drag this label out on our storyboard. We're going to put it, we're going to format this label now. Let's just add it on top of our UI view here. Okay, so we're going to go to our ruler over here. We're going to set this to 50 by 50. Okay, so let's get that to be a nice good square there. And then let's see here. Yeah, so let's go ahead. Let's go to our attributes inspector. We're going to center the text. We can actually take the label text out of there. So no text, but just make sure you do center the text. We're going to go ahead and increase the font size a little here. So let's go ahead and just add that. We're going to go up to about 25. Should be good. All right, so that'll be a nice thing to do there. Okay. So let's see. Let's see. Actually, you know what? Let's go back here. We're going to actually make our label a little bigger now that I think about it. So let's make this 100. Let's go ahead and double this, all right, because we need this to fit the whole view here. So we're going to make that 100 by 100. All right, and then let's make this background color white. Okay, so let's go ahead and choose white here. Hang on a second here. Okay. So remember, right now, like this is label, so that's just going to change the text. So we got to go down to the view property of the label. Background right here is currently off. Change that to white. There we go. All right, so now we got a nice white background there. Okay, and then again, so we want to make sure it's white. We've cleared the text. We've centered all the text, and we want to enable user in action. Okay, so that way it gives you, the user can interact with this label here, and we'll get to that down the line. Okay, but basically, once we do that, we want to put that right up in the top corner there. Okay, and actually we're going to move it, yeah, right about there is fine. So now we want to repeat this 8 more times. We need 9 labels. So now what you can do, just to kind of, hang on here a second. Okay. Okay, so what we can do is just rather than creating this label and format, let's just paste this thing a bunch of times. So go ahead and just select it. Then we're going to Command C, copy it, and then I'm just going to paste this out a few times. I'll just do the top row first here. Okay, so what you want to do as you're positioning your labels is you want to leave, as you see what I'm doing here, is you want to leave some of that black showing, and that's going to be essentially what the grid's going to be made up of. Okay, so let's go ahead and paste out 3 more, and then use those blue align guides to kind of help you position these so they're all like row by row. They're lined up. Okay, so as you can see here, so now it's starting to take the shape of tic-tac-toe. All right, go ahead and put this one in the bottom left corner. Go ahead and get this one in the bottom right. Yep, get that thing over to the side. Beautiful. Let's get one more right there. Okay, so now we want to clean this up here, so I'm going to move that up a little. Got to get this a little more even. There we go. Okay. So looking a little better there. So as you can see, we've got the beginning of our tic-tac-toe. So again, you can play around, but the idea is those white labels are behind there, and as you can see, the black view background is where our where our grid's coming from. Okay, so again, you just want to play around and fine-tune the positioning on that. All right, but so there's our grid. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, we've got 2 more things to do with this screencast. So let's add 1 more label. All right, so this is going to be kind of the whose turn label it is here. So let's go ahead and put this label top left corner right about here, so you get both of these grid lines. So I go ahead and add that label there for me. Okay, and let's see here. We're going to go ahead and this one we're going to put 50 by 50. Okay, so let's change the width and height of this one. 50 by 50. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, and then let's go ahead and do the same thing. We'll go to our label. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to give that a, we're going to get rid of the label. We don't need that text in there. Let's go ahead and center it. Let's go ahead and make the size a little bigger. We take that up to, we'll take it up to 25, sure. Okay, so there we go. So we've got our label here. So let's go ahead and add constraints to it. So let's go ahead. We're going to pin this. All right, so we're going to pin it to the kind of the top and the left. All right, so go ahead and go ahead and do that for me. Then we're going to add our 2 constraints. Okay, and then let's go ahead and let's see here. Let's do this here. So we've got our 1 issue right here. Okay, so let's just clean that up here. Open it up. Let's see what they're saying. It's probably going to be, yeah, misplaced view. So we just need to, we'll let Xcode fix that for us here. So now our labels are clear. Labels up there. And we are all set. Okay, so from that point here, so we just check your outline, make sure we got everything here. Let's see here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to fix that label there because I don't think that's what we need to update that here. So we're going to go ahead and clean that up here. But for the meantime, we'll fix that in the next video here. So I'm going to stop it at this point. Let's do this here. I'm trying to think what's going to be good. So yeah, so we'll stop you at this point. So just make sure you have your grid set up with your labels. And then we'll start our next video adding that current turn label, and then we'll get our outlets going here, and we'll get this game working. So that should get you started. Again, there's also the written file on Moodle as well. So if you want to use these back and forth, go for it. But that should get you going with your layout. And then we'll be back for 1 more video here. Thanks, guys.